Football fan channels, you love to hate them. Often finding the crazies off the street to talk about their local team. Football fan channels have overtaken YouTube and social media in the last decade and have been a real main source of fan content, especially in the Premier League. But do they deserve to stay, and what is the problems with them? Before we do get into football fan channels, please can we try and hit 500 likes in this video, and please subscribe if you like any of my content. I have a lot of people watch my videos who are not subscribed, and if you like any of these documentaries, please let me know down in the comments. Now, although this video will come off very negative, I don't actually have an issue with fan channels. I think they're very good to give fans a voice and let people know what the community actually thinks. And it has been very good in big clubs before, letting the clubs know actually what the fans think daily to day basis, and sort of bringing them casual conversations to the light to the mainstream media. However, now being in 2024 and being so long into the future of the start of many fan channels, I do think overall there is major issues with them. I don't think every single one has major issues. I think there are some proper real good ones, but some of the big ones I have real issues with, and I'm going to talk about them today. Now, growing up, often if I wanted the latest Arsenal news or wanted to know what the other fans thought, I would often go on Arsenal fan TV. Being an Arsenal fan myself and not being from London, there was not many Arsenal fans necessarily around me, so it was a good way of gauging what people thought and nice to see what people actually in the community were like. Obviously, that necessarily hasn't worked out the best with the certain people, especially on Arsenal fan TV. Obviously, Arsenal fan TV isn't the only one. Now there's mostly fan channels popping up in so many different teams. Teams in the Championship even have prominent fan channels that have been working for years to try and get the best content for their team. It's become more of a phenomenon online, and people who often are very passionate about their team like putting their opinions across, and often sometimes bringing their friends in or getting a team involved to help bring this into the mainstream. I think the actual idea of fan channels is a completely fine process. It's nice to get fans together, and it is supposed to be for the fans, by the fans. Fan channels have always been more popular when your team is doing bad. AFTV, for example, United Stand, Anfield Agenda always do better when their team are losing and the rage reactions come out. All the most popular videos on these channels are often people being very angry, and there's nothing necessarily bad about this. This opens it to a bigger audience than that football team because people want to laugh at the people losing. That makes the same sense with Twitter, and that's why people make stupid opinions. But the issue comes when it is supposed to be for the fans, and it feels like a lot of these fan channels will often fake reactions to try and gain more subscribers and more recognition because they want them reaction or clips on Twitter or TikTok. This also plays into the fact that the big channels also have around about a massive production team. I'm looking at AFTV, for example, and they often will post a lot of videos a day all the time, trying to gauge anything they can. Now, while there's not something that's going to happen every single day with Arsenal, it often feels like they are just throwing stuff at the wall just to get some news out there, even when there is no news. I also think it does play into football podcasts a lot. Vizza did speak about this, but often I feel like people are going out with the worst opinions ever just to try and get their podcast more clicks or get more fame. For instance, I'm going to call them out here. The Club are the worst podcast ever to do any football content. All three of them were awful on the kickoff, and they've made their own podcast where they basically just chat about random other teams, and there's often no sense or no analysis done. It's often they've gone on Twitter or Instagram, read a stat and gone and sped it on a podcast, acting like they know more than other people when they really don't. Now, the problem from this is the fact that people are mostly watching football podcasts not for to learn or to the enjoyment. It's just mostly to laugh at other people and rub the salt in the wounds when other people lose. And now this may be fun here and there, but this isn't going to be consistent forever, and these careers will get ruined. Arsenal fan TV and United Stand have managed to preserve their recognition at the top of the game because they have used their abilities to the best of their advantage, but it's no doubt they still get most subscribers and most views when they lose. And often the whole point of these fan channels was it was supposed to be a group of people, or even more, it was supposed to be the fans coming together to talk about an instance. But with the United Stand, most likely people only really look at Mark Goldbridge. Mark Goldbridge in himself has now become an internet celebrity. He is someone that is like the pundits who will come out with his opinion and say what he wants, which is valid. I completely don't blame him. It's his channel, he do what he wants. But this also then makes it seem like it's Mark Goldbridge's opinion rather than the chat or the team or the community of Manchester United fans. You have to agree with him to be in the right. Now, this isn't that much of an issue for places like United Stand, as much as I don't really watch them. AFTV have a massive issue in this circumstance. Before, where AFTV was supposed to be for the fans and everyone had their opinion, because because they've had some absolute wrong-uns on there just to try and get the clicks up and try and create controversial issues. Often AFTV are completely different to actual Arsenal fans. Go and talk to any Arsenal fan. They completely disassociate themselves from AFTV, especially in the United Kingdom, because they often just go out with random things, and it brings a lot of negativity to the club even when Arsenal have been playing well. And fan channels have been a way of creating negativity for these football teams. As much as all these football teams aren't a positive place, Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, these teams obviously aren't always positive and haven't been great recently or in the last decade. But someone who wants to just sit there and enjoy their team can no longer do that. They have to have a vivid opinion on everything that's going on because of these fan channels. And a lot of the time they try and dictate what it could be said and what should be said about the team and the players, and create agendas themselves for players where they're no longer just reacting to them. They're now controlling what happens with the club. And there's a lot of good people that really do great work on these channels, and it definitely is nothing against them. But overall, I think the channels as the whole now has got to the point where they spread a lot of negativity and a lot of hate. And I think this goes into the fact that there is so much hate on the football Twitter, on social media about football team. And I think that doesn't help by the fan channels doing this for years now, often playing into the fact that they might not get clicks from being liked and being happy and try and be hatred. And that's not the point of a fan channel. The point of fan channel is to try and be there with the fans and gauge the whole opinion of the fans. Nowadays, fan channels are turned into a couple of people and what they think. And often these are people that just want to have it for monetary issues and be famous. And honestly, it's hard to see if they even care about the team. I made this channel because I wanted it to be a place where I could talk about football, but mostly given my opinions. I do go to tactics, I do other things that will obviously not be my opinion. But I've never tried to pretend this is a fan channel for anything. This is not a group of people. This is not what Arsenal fans think. This is what I think. And this is what I think in this video. So, you know, you can disagree with me if you want. And I know every single fan channel isn't necessarily going to align with the overall view of the fan base, but I'm starting to think it really should be closer to, because it's not about the people making the channel, it's about the whole community as a whole. That is the point of it. And this is stemmed into mainstream media. I mean, you look at stuff like TalkSport, they just get people on them that say stupid opinions just for clicks and just for a little bit of a laugh. But what is the point of actually having a show when you're trying to learn about football, rather than you're just trying to anger out the crowd to try and say stuff or get you into reaction? I just don't agree with how football is in that way in the UK at the moment on social media. And some people genuinely have opinions. We all get opinions wrong and we all say stupid stuff. You genuinely believe that, then that is something to hold on to, rather than it just being, oh, I'm saying it because I want to get famous and want to get clicks. I will never say anything outlandish that I do not believe in order to get bigger on the internet. So today was a different video. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's a bit of a rant. I saw Biz's video about football podcasts and I just completely agreed and thought fan channels are also not very good at the moment. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your view and I appreciate your time of day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you wanted me to do any more style videos like this or talk about any other things in football. If you actually do want to watch some bad opinions though, go and watch my top 10 ranked players of the end of 2023 throughout the whole year, just to see what you think. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one.